Not a hot take, Chainsaw Man is the best shonen manga to come out of the WSJ in the last 10 years. To me, Chainsaw Man is a goofy gooner manga with flashy fights on the surface with an emotional and nuanced multi-layered story that goes unrecognized for the most part. We will explore many main themes, motifs, thematic arcs, and through lines. At the end of this video, I hope to communicate how Chainsaw Man is not a gooner manga with the fraudulent author, but the genius story with the layers of depth and messages. If you do not have the best understanding of Chainsaw Man, I hope that will change after this video. I will also say that this video may sound like other Chainsaw Man videos. I have seen them all, and while I don't want to plagiarize, all art is derivative, even YouTube videos. I aim to compile the full message for the entire series and see how different themes develop into fully fleshed out messages. Chainsaw Man urges its reader to identify itself solely by itself with the idea of relativism. It might seem like another zero to hero shonen story, but instead it encourages the reader to place themselves in the place of Denji. How do you feel if you had to sell your body parts to keep up with the depth that isn't yours? Denji's age surprisingly matters towards his general characterization. He wants toast with jam and thinks people who ask for more than that are ungrateful. He then wants to feel up a girl, and this dream of his is constantly criticized. It is Denji himself that rebukes the idea that his goal is any more or less important than others. As he fights the Leech Devil, he claims if others lose to him, then that means his dream held more weight. The ironic writing behind this is Denji still lost the fight, but it was the Leech Devil who was killed, sending the message that dreams fundamentally lack weight itself. We then explore how Denji interacts with these dreams. He fills up some boobs and it is completely underwhelming for him. He eats toast with jam but still likes to eat ice cream and go out to eat. The simple dream of toast with jam or touching a woman is gone and replaced with something better. This is because Chainsaw Man stresses the importance of dreams versus reality. Dreams are only that, and reality cannot live up to the idealized fantasy inside your head. This is communicated through Denji's obsession with Makima and Aki's goal of killing the Gun Devil. It is the gimmick of carrot and stick. It is the idea of getting closer to the goal that they become drunk on. Aki's lifelong goal to kill the Gun Devil is revealed to be nothing but a farce so nations can maintain power and rule, fully showcasing the fantasy and the futility of dreams. What is more, this also fleshes out relativism. To another person, this would crush them and even drive them to depression to learn they spent so many years for nothing and cannot avenge their family. But for Aki, it is entirely different. Even though he is constantly criticized for having a typical shonen hero goal, in which we can see in things like Kagurabachi, he acts normal and acts independent toward Aki and Denji. The symbolic gesture of doors is the most mechanically powerful technique Fujimoto uses for part 1. Doors inside of Chainsaw Man represent the information you will be better without. For the entirety of part 1, Denji's door was him killing his own father, in which he wanted to ignore and remain in ignorance for. When the Kaz is transported into hell, it is not a fiery pit filled with demons, but a dry land filled with doors, reflecting the emptiness knowledge can give you. Further substantiated when the main villain of the arc, Santa Claus, whose name echoes the impermanence of fantasy, gets defeated with an ability that overloads the opponent with information. The thematic message here is ignorance is bliss. This phrase is single-handedly the most important phrase in the entirety of part 1. Denji grapples with the cost of knowledge and how submitting to fantasies is the ignorance that keeps him as a dog. When Denji fully submits to Makima as a dog, he immediately is punished for such a thing by participating in Power's death. Thematically, letting others control you will only bring self-destruction. This is because submission and obedience will only delegate you to a dog's role. Dogs are the biggest symbol of obedience. That is Makima's choice to describe Denji as. However, it is cats who break away from such restrictions. Cats represent agency and freedom. Meowie being one of the rare animals to be freed in the story and literally freed from her cage. Power, being symbolically a cat, is aware of the duplicity of Makima and fights against it compared to Aki and Denji. This symbolic turn has the widest reaching narrative implication that directly ties into the core thematic conflict of Chainsaw Man: freedom versus control. This theme was always in the story but very subtly explored in part 1. It manifests inside the mouse motif. How much control would you give up to be the town mouse that gets better food but at a higher risk? How much freedom would you give up to be the country mouse? The especially creative writing is that freedom and control are not diametrically opposed but symbolically demonstrated through Denji and eating Makima as parts of the same whole. To some, freedom is found in the town mouse more than the country mouse. This connects back to the overall theory of relativity that Chainsaw Man is founded upon. The experiences and joys one has is entirely linked to that one person. Toast with jam might be ice cream and steak for another person. What is your favorite movie? My favorite movie is 12 Angry Men. Many people shift through multiple uninteresting or boring movies in their lives to find their favorite life-changing piece. Chainsaw Man uses the motif of movies to express the quality of life each person experiences. Movies, and whether you view them as good or bad, is naturally subjective. Makima aiming to erase all bad movies is erasing someone else's good, stepping on their freedom and forcefully making them respond to what Makima declares is good or bad. Moreover, a person needs bad movies to appreciate the quality in a good movie. Makima has a utilitarian philosophy with their motivations, and this controversy manifests within Power's death. It is what blinds her to what makes life truly worth living. Denji and Pochita understand this deep within their heart, and that is how they are bound to one another. Chainsaw Man is naturally about family and connections. Love is the gas and brakes for the plot. This is seen in Aki starting his entire goal because of the slaughter of his family, but also stopping his pursuit because of his newfound family. Makima wanting to have a family, Pochita wanting a hug, and Rize having mutual feelings for Denji. How this love is typically but subtly represented is through food. Not only is food usually seen as a romantic gesture, such as a wife cooking for her husband, but in Chainsaw Man, it directly shapes the formless bonds our characters face. The connection and removal of angst Aki feels is propagated by the food Denji, Power, and him all share. The final interaction between Denji and Makima is the full culmination of the power food has in the series. With food, our characters become one while the cycle of hate and contempt ends and the cycle of love and communication begins. Even symbolically, Pochita eating concepts away is a subversion of the connection food brings, as he literally disconnects it from the world. Makima thinking getting eaten by him would be a great honor showcases her ignorance, for it would not connect her to Pochita, but the opposite. As well, it could never happen thematically, as control cannot be defeated any more than freedom can. We see this come to a thematic head in what I consider to be the superior stretch of Chainsaw Man, Part 2, The School Saga.
Hey, but y'all hungry though?
Yeah, I am kind of hungry.
Yeah, where y'all trying to eat at?
I don't know. We ain't trying to spend all y'all money, you know.
Man, that's not gonna be a problem. Where y'all trying to eat at?
Ooh, okay, Mr. Baller.
Right. Okay. No, I'm not ball. I'm just saying, where y'all trying to eat at? It don't matter.
Don't try to backstep now. I know you got money. Your cute self. I know your cute self got money.
Hey, bro, when you gonna give me my shirt back?
Asa and Denji are mirrors of one another, reflected within Dog and Chainsaw to Bird in War. We see the theme of relativity collide here immensely. While Denji has no parents, a dog, and a dream for a normal life, Asa has no parents, is a regular student, and badly wants a friend. Their suffering isn't to be naturally compared, but juxtaposed to show you how their feelings are the same and not less or greater. Dog and Chainsaw is a metaphor for cutting away at the obedience and not thinking for yourself, in which Denji realizes at the end of part 1. Bird in War, however, is a complex symbolic turn telling the audience the nuanced price of freedom. Within the first volumes of part 2, we can see the hedgehog's dilemma in full view. Asa believes she cannot connect with others as she is scared of the pain, fear, and isolation it brings. However, as part 1 told us, experiencing bad movies is a necessary intrinsic part to living a normal life. Asa's small character arc when facing the Roach Devil is her acknowledging the first step toward living a meaningful life. Freedom versus control is naturally the entire thematic conflict the series has to answer. Part 1 explored the nature of control and how it is not an evil overlord cackling in front of a crystal ball, but people simply avoiding to take off the blindfold and acknowledge reality for what it is. Even though unfinished, Part 2 explores the nuances of freedom. What is freedom to the individual? Can one be content living alone and isolating themselves to avoid being hurt? Can one person sacrifice their morals to create a better world? Can one person give meaning to their life by putting their trust into others? Within part 2, we see the motif of birds consistently. Bucky being a chicken, Yoru being a devil, what the fuck? Yoru being an owl, and multiple other renditions of this. Birds throughout literature are symbols of freedom. Since we already have talked about how freedom in the series is subjective and personal, The universal freedom it represents is the freedom to be your own person and grow into your own identity. One of the sub-themes inside of part 2 is intrinsically identity. Yoru's motivation to get nuclear warhead to be spit up is all in order to make others remember her, as she does not want to be forgotten. A large portion of Denji's conflict is whether or not to be Chainsaw Man and how he grapples with this part of his identity. Lastly, Asa wants to form an identity she can be proud of. The Justice Devil being a reoccurring name and arguably one of the final elusive villains of the part mirrors this theme perfectly. Justice intrinsically having to do with subjectivity and morality, we reach a conflict within our theming. Picture weighing the following on a pair of scales. On the right side, place friends, family, a wonderful, peaceful everyday life, your pet, cat, and dogs. On the left side, just one thing, the starter that transforms you into Chainsaw Man. Which side is heavier? The freedom that Denji has is contested once again. Part 2 attempts to be almost a subversion of Part 1. Part 2 advocates for a more nuance and subtlety within mysteries and motivations. This is showcased especially within the thematic weight behind the Falling Devil arc. While most would consider it to be an extremely weak stretch, we see so much context behind so many key aspects of Part 2. For one is the treatment of food. As I said, food is the symbol toward connection within Part 1. However, within the Falling Devil arc, we have a devil chef turning the idol of connection into a weapon. Fujimoto makes this especially the case by having the Falling Devil main method of attack be to submerge you in your deep insecurities with your past bonds and connections. While I think Fujimoto could have handled some scenes showcasing this a lot better, we have the core idea that in order to stay afloat, you have to let your past bonds and connections free you. Another fundamental aspect of freedom. In this case, we see Asa in her head want only one person to share her feelings with. It is deliberately cut off to be revised later in her arc, but I believe she was going to say she wanted to be loved and seen by another person. It seems like the natural progression for her character, as well as logically sound to make the sentence make sense within its context. The symbol behind the use of gravity is to permanently alter and reshape the story of Chainsaw Man. For after this arc, we get into a more political, desultory mode of storytelling in which is loosely set up for the final beats of the part. Small details in the nailing into part 2 are extremely interesting on reread. When Yuko says, "If only I can read into birds' minds too," it asks the reader what truly is freedom for our characters and how are they supposed to achieve it. This freedom can also manifest within past motifs in the series like cats. When we get reintroduced to Denji in part 2, the cockroach devil asks him to make a choice between one student with a promising future or 5 senior citizens. Because Denji is free from the conventional moral choices and expectations placed on him, he chooses to save a cat, perfectly symbolic of that agency and the lack of obedience. Denji's name is a play on the Japanese word tenchi, which means angel. I believe this is the case to symbolically judge Denji as the love and bridge to connect humans and devils. In a world filled with devils, it takes an angel to show that they aren't so different. Part 2 is not finished, so maybe Fujimoto will pull a Isayama and abandon all the themes he set up and wrote. Maybe there'll be more to cover. Maybe part 2 isn't even halfway finished and subject to change. But I believe if this were to be consistent and well written, Denji will find a similar alternative, abandoning the preconceived ideas of morality that Bond presented him with. Maybe all of part 2 is just a bad movie that Denji comes out of the fire with to find his own place once more, being truly free.